So the Brahmaviharas are the term means, it's translated in different ways: divine abidings or boundless states. And one translation I heard, which I like quite a lot, for Brahma, which was the word best, and Vihara means dwelling or abiding or home. This is the Pali language, the language of the original Buddhist text. So these four qualities are said to form our best home. And like any home, of course, we're not there all the time, but there's a certain feeling when we're home. It should be the place where we feel the most authentic, the least pretentious, in a way, the most relaxed. It's like we're home, So the first quality is loving kindness, which we just practiced a little bit. And the formal translation of the word metta, M-E-T-T-A, is something like friendship. I tend to use the term connection. I think it's a profound sense of connection, certainly to ourselves, but also to life, to all beings everywhere. While friendship is the formal definition or translation, my experience of loving kindness is that it's a state of the heart. And when I hear the word friendship, I think about hanging out with somebody, or, I don't know what it means right now, but, in general, it means spending time, let's go to the movies together or something like that. And I know you can have your heart genuinely filled with loving kindness, but discernment, mindfulness in a larger context, a balance of loving kindness for others and for yourself might lead you to think, I don't think so, like, I'm not going to give you more money, I'm not going to spend time with you, I'm not going to do this. And it's not coming from a motivation of rejection or dislike. It is genuinely coming from a place of loving kindness, but it doesn't look like the ordinary conventional meaning of friendship. So that's why I tend to say connection. And it isn't necessarily emotional either. I've had translators and scholars say to me, why don't you just say love? Stop being so cutesy about it, because I often call it loving kindness. And they say, just say love, that's what you mean. But that is such a complex term, which means so many different things for us at different times. And so it's based, as you made mention, actually, often on recognizing everybody actually wants to be happy, everybody. And not happiness in a superficial sense, but a deeper sense of belonging somewhere in this body, in this mind, with one another on this planet. We all want that, and it's because of the force of ignorance that we continue to make mistakes and cause so much suffering. But we can come to that sense of connection very genuinely with everybody. And it doesn't mean we like them, or we're going to spend time with them, truly. But we have this bone deep realization our lives are connected. The second Brahmavihara is compassion, which is a word, if we use loving kindness at all, more likely love, we tend to use as though synonymous. But there's a kind of fine differentiation in the Buddhist psychology where if loving kindness is more based on sensing that everybody wants to be happy, compassion is more based on sensing the vulnerability that we all share. It's not like we have the same degree of suffering in life, because we don't. But that vulnerability, that fragility of life, how quickly it can change, how everything can be upended, that's true for all of us. And so compassion is sometimes defined as the trembling or the quivering of the heart in response to seeing pain or suffering. And it's a movement toward, but not a movement into. It's a movement toward to see if we can be of help. If we move into the suffering, we burn up, we burn out. If we move in certain we're going to fix it, that's another state altogether. So it's a movement toward to see if we can be of help. The third Brahmavihara is called sympathetic joy. And that is actually having joy or happiness in the happiness of others. rather than witnessing someone's success or good fortune and falling sway to the voice that so often arises within us, like, ew, I wish you didn't have so much going for you right now. I wish, you don't have to lose it all, but if the light could just dim a bit, I'd feel better. And so I think we all, certainly I think we all probably know people who have this quality naturally, and I find it just awesome. Like something good happens for you and they're so happy for you, and it's so beautiful. Whereas other people, it's like they may smile, but you can tell they're not that pleased. Like that you got this prize, this praise, whatever it is, and it feels so bad. And for most of us, it actually is more training than something natural, and that's because we have a lot of assumptions that need to be challenged. Like, happiness is a limited commodity in this world, and the more someone else has, the less is going to be for me. Something like that. Or I have nothing, and I will forever, and you have everything, and you will forever. So, of course, there are many problems with that, since nothing is forever. It's unlikely to have absolutely nothing, and it's unlikely you have absolutely everything. And then the fourth Brahmavihara, after loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, is equanimity, which does not mean indifference or callousness. It means balance. And that's like the voice of wisdom in these situations. It's like you might have tremendous compassion for a friend, and you want to do everything you can possibly do to try to help their situation. And wisdom tells you, you know what? I'm not in control. I can't make someone choose A instead of B. Would that I could, It would be a lot easier, and well, I think in a lot of ways a lot better a world if I were in charge, but it's not that way. And so equanimity doesn't have us withdraw. It actually helps bring that balance. It's like if you look at people who are caregivers, they're taking care of someone in their family or professionally, or they're change makers, they're activists, they're trying to bring about a better world. They have huge empathy often, and a lot of caring, and they're burning out for other reasons. And often it's undue expectations and unrealistic ideas of perfection, and an insistence on being in control that is never going to come true, and so many things like that. So these four work together.